When black women go missing, they don't get the same coverage as white women. When do the same serial killing that the white boys do, it just so happens they don't get the same attention. That's just a coincidence.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Wait,
I knew all about it. It was on the
about black people.
Yeah, not getting the same attention for crimes.
Yes, I want us to get the same coverage when we do psycho that the white boys do.
Well,
that's what I'm telling you. That's how deep this racism runs. We can't even get the same coverage when we do heinous.
Spears and Steinberg. You know what the it is? Aries and Andy, chewing the jerk. You know it's time to get this work. The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections. Always sleep. Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes. Scribe, we lit. There's levels to this before you was on your mama. Aries, Spears don't give a fuck. We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders, rollers, loaders. We got them in the folders. The whole world on our shoulders. Spears and Steinberg. Yeah!
Yo, guys, welcome to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. Before we get deep into this, really quick, we premiered the phone number so you guys can call in and leave voicemail messages. And I'm going to do that again. And after about a couple times of me doing this, hopefully you'll have it. It'll be memorized, locked, so I don't have to do this no fucking more. But if you want to call into the Spears and Steinberg podcast and get some off your chest, the number is 617-942-0401. That's 617-942-0401. What's cooking, man?
Apparently the South.
Yeah. We're in Huntsville, Alabama. The South. I haven't been to the South since Henrietta, Georgia. Was it Henrietta?
Alpharetta.
How you say it?
How do you say that, Mark?
Alpharetta.
Alpharetta. When we did, was it Punchline? It was not Punchline.
Helium.
Helium.
And we're out here at Levity Live in
Huntsville, Alabama.
Which last time we were here, excellent. Every part of it was excellent. And
this is, let's see, boom, boom, boom. 1 and 2. We've done 3 shows so far out of the 5. 2 have been and one has been good. So we're 1 and 2.
But to be fair, it's a very soft weekend because
so much is going on.
Yeah, there's concerts and then there's the game, the big game. Football is, I guess, life out here.
College, obviously.
Yeah, and so there's a big game, and so everybody's out of town. So it's we got crowds that were left from.
Somebody hit me up on Instagram and was like, "Man, you came out during the wrong week because the game and then some other shit and then some concerts." So attendance is taking a hit. Listen, the last time we were here, which was the only time we were here, I don't remember how packed it was.
It was packed. We were sold out to the back. I don't think we sold out every show, but they were all sold out all the way. They were sold to the back of the room. Let's put it that way. Okay. Whether or not they were all completely sold out is another story. But
right.
And I like this club, Levity Live. It's a sister club to the club I came up with in Phoenix. Which was Stand Up Live. This was formerly Stand Up Live at one time.
Yeah, when we were here, it was Stand Up Live.
Yeah, until the powers that be at Levity changed the way the game was going to be played, and so that's where we are. This is the little hat that they gave me. I like it out here, though. This is one of my favorite parts of the South that I've been to. Very highly educated. Not saying that the South isn't highly educated. I'm just saying this town in particular is highly educated. It's NASA. It's defense contracts. It's very there's a political savviness about this place. But I will say this. They're not government employees. The other part of it, the contracts, the regular people that work in. These are some of the most incredibly woke,
sensitive on the planet.
Yeah.
So many.
On jokes that.
Oh my God.
That hit everywhere else with no ahs and oohs. I mean, there are jokes that we get ahs and oohs on the road, but this is like in places that I wasn't even expecting. It was like, oh. And it sounds like they got, not like you've been tragically maimed, but like maybe you were playing basketball and you got an elbow. Oh.
No, they act like they watching a child get beat
But that noise, that,
But
oh.
I even said, to start my set, because I said, look, I'm going to nip this in the bud. If you are this sensitive with your oohs and ahs based on what Andy is saying, the you think you're going to get from me?
That's what I don't
10
understand.
times worse than him.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Oh, God.
I didn't understand it at all when I was up there, and I did have fun with the history here. That they seem to enjoy. I called them out for their history, and that they seem to be okay with. But the sensitivity around, like you said, kids are part of my show. So, but in a very honest way, and so that got a lot of ahs. And when you start, you got ahs from the oohs and ahs from the beginning, right?
Damn near.
But the first show on Friday, the show that sold the most, they were into it. They enjoyed
That's what I'm saying. 1 and 2. That was the one.
I think when the crowd gets this small, it's not just the wokeness of it. It's not just the sensitivity. I think it has to also do with the intimacy of it. It's such a small crowd where everybody feels like they know each other because you can see everybody, and I think it doesn't lend to good comedy. It doesn't lend to raw laughter because you're contained, because you don't want these few people that are in the room to feel like you're not a good person.
Yeah.
And comedy comedy, when we laugh, man, it comes from a raw place. It's not supposed to be filtered and cleaned up.
Well, the last time we were here, they put us in a hotel which was near nothing.
Yeah.
I like where we're at. This is a cool hotel, and I mean literally 10 steps across the street is popping. So,
which Aries every night wanted to leave the club. He never
wanted to get the out of there.
He's
man.
like, "Come on, we got to go!" And as soon as we pull up, he just jumps out of the car and he walks across the street to this.
Because the club is just. I mean, I'm not trying to on the club, but like I said, 1 and 2 just haven't.
Yeah, it doesn't have that energy.
Had a good time,
Yeah, there's no after show glow.
Yeah, and there's nothing to do around that. It's
and that's where we stayed last time. This time we're downtown. Huntsville is really cool. It has a very quaint but like city-esque vibe. And
city-esque, yeah.
And you could go out, and I really enjoy it here. I really do. I really do like it here. So I guess someone said it's in a lot of magazines, wealth magazines, it's like top 10 place to live in the country. I don't know about all that, but I know it's very fair priced.
Speaking of which, going to the little bar pub hangoutery.
I like a hangoutery.
Last night, they got these massive screens. I really didn't notice it until I saw it. The NBA is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suns lost already.
And you know what, dude? I saw, of course, the guys, Shaq, Kenny, Chuck, and Ernie. It looks the exact same. They just have the ESPN logo. So everything's the same.
Yeah, it's going to be the same at the beginning. We'll see how they try to tweak it, though, as they go along.
I don't think they're going to fuck with it.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen it.
And Charles lost a lot of weight.
I did see that he had lost some weight.
Yeah.
His face looked smaller.
Yeah.
They didn't even put it on. I didn't even see his body. I just saw the face, and it looked a lot different.
You know what I didn't see, and shame on me, because you would think that as much as I'm a Jordan Hughes, I would have saw it, but I didn't. The thing he did, I think it came on opening on NBC. Did you see that interview?
I heard about it. I heard about it.
I didn't see it from beginning to end, and I was trying to see if I could see it on YouTube, the whole thing, but I'm only catching pieces. But yeah, I saw the thing where he was like, the guy said, "Do you miss it?" And he goes, "I miss it incredibly. I wish I could take a magic pill and put on some shorts and play right now." And of course, Colin Cowherd, was it him that said it? Some pundit basically tried to make it seem like that was Mike taking a shot at the NBA, saying that he would go out there and bring to the game what's missing, and he would help restore it back to what it once was.
You know what's funny about that? Do you know what he really said?
What?
That the game's missing something.
Him?
And it isn't what it... No, not Jordan. Colin Cowherd said it. That the game's missing something.
Right.
And it isn't at the same level that it was once before.
Right.
Because in order for him to extrapolate that out of what Jordan was saying, he must see that the league is missing something.
Yeah.
And he must see that, it needs some restoration. So
I didn't take it as that's what Mike was saying. Mike's competitive.
I don't.
He misses the plan.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. I think every athlete talks about what they miss most is the camaraderie and that idea of going up against war with someone else.
Yeah.
You know, the one-on-one, not war in that sense, but war is like you're battling someone every night. And if you played that way your whole career, what do you do afterwards? What do you do to get that same kind of fulfillment?
I'm sure there's a period of time where you are happy to be away from it because you did it for so long. It's like, the break feels good.
Well,
but then after a while, you go, all right, now this break shit don't feel good anymore. But you can't come back to it.
No, and then you see people getting adulation for what they've done, and you're like, I've done that. I want. Did you forget? I want to show you.
Right.
I don't think it's about like I think I can do it better. It's like I did that. Let me show you. But you don't have that same, like he said, the pill. You don't have the same moves.
Yeah.
So Jordan also said that Mr. Colin Cowherd, that he doesn't have it the same way anymore. He said that he's older, that he couldn't play. You missed a lot of what he said. I didn't see it, but just from the little snippet you just said now, I think you overanalyzed and analyzed in a direction that I don't think was correct.
Yeah, and then the guy asked him, when was the last time you picked up a shot of basketball? He goes, I haven't picked up a ball in years. And then he goes on to tell this story that wherever he was staying, he rented a house from somebody, and the owner said, could you just do me one favor, please, and shoot a free throw for my kids, in front of my kids? So Mike said he shot the free throw. Of course, it switched in, but he said that was the nervous I've ever been in so long.
Right, because everything's on that. You're not
Right.
You're not Jordan if you miss that shot.
Right.
You're just an old man who looks like Jordan.
Right, yeah.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
Yeah. And then you heard about this scandal?
What's
the basketball scandal with the
Yeah.
refs?
Oh yeah.
So what were they betting on games or something?
No. There's different parts of this, but it all goes back to the mafia. The mafia is back, guys.
I thought the mafia was gone.
No, the mafia is back. The mafia is
We never won anyway.
The
Always
mafia-
been around. All the guys, Christian for sure, Bushy.
The mafia is playing cards, though. That's what they're doing now. They're running poker games. And they used, what they're saying is, allegedly, I want to make sure I say that, allegedly, that they were using high-profile NBA people to give credibility to the games, to the poker games. And these games were so high-tech that they had X-ray machines on the tables. They had card shuffling machines.
So it had nothing to do with throwing games?
Not really throwing games. The one thing that they're saying with... I'm going to forget the player.
Because they showed Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
They showed the clip, and it looks like, dude, these are obvious turnovers on purpose.
But see, it's on his stats. It's not on the game. It was on his stats. Like there was one where they said that there's some emails going back and forth, and this is, again, allegedly. They said to bet, before the game started, they said bet that he's not going to meet the expectations of his game. He's not going to get the points he needs. Bet under on everything. He's not going to make it. And 8 minutes into the game, he took himself out of the game and he didn't return, like some kind of like muscle or something.
Yeah.
And so that tanks his stats. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to lose the game. They can win the game without him, but it changes the betting. And
right.
And so a lot of people would win a lot of money knowing that he's not playing. So but it involves, they're saying like a lot of players, not just the few. Like it could involve many players. I don't know what the many is. Like is it 50, 100?
I don't know how true it is. Obviously, I heard LeBron's name come up.
I'm not even going to put that on there because I don't know. But it could involve a lot of players. But I don't see LeBron do. I really don't. Because
I wouldn't have seen Chauncey Billups doing that.
Yeah, but Chauncey Billups, as much as you want to say, he was a great player in his day. He's coaching. But his legacy, his name as a legacy, isn't the same as LeBron's. And LeBron taking the chance to tarnish that legacy in any way. I mean, he has a legacy that's going to last for forever in the NBA. Why I can't imagine. And you have a ton of money, so the money can't be the incentive.
Right.
So why would he do that? So that doesn't make sense to me. That one doesn't. But if you're,
So some of these make sense to you.
I'm saying it makes sense that they might have done it, or they could have been tempted to do it.
Right. Well, Charles Barkley's point was, you guys already make millions of dollars. What's in it for you? To win 50,000?
Well, I think some of it is, though, having the adulation. I know it's mobster. The mobster idea is, but to be like wanted. Like you retire, you're not wanted the same way anymore. See, that's what I mean, though, about LeBron. LeBron's going to be wanted. Jordan is wanted. What you think Chauncey Billups gets the same all over the country, the same kind of like service at a restaurant that LeBron gets at any restaurant?
Probably not.
So what I mean is you have people that are wooing you to try to get, oh, man, you're the great, you're the best, you do this. You don't have to do anything. You just have to show up. You bring some people, you walk around. It's gambling. And to what extent, like, he might have been a host and didn't know exactly what was going on, didn't know that there was x-ray machines on the table, didn't know those other things. You don't think that you're sending your friends into the lion's den to be eaten alive. You just think, oh, I'm hosting some card games. I play poker anyway. Everybody knows that the NBA, that most athletes play some card games, either on the plane or they have games together. Sports is highly competitive. And so it seems that you would also be competitive in a gambling arena as well. That's been documented and well known. So if you came to Chauncey Billups and said, hey, man, we want you to be the host, we want you to invite people, you're just going to walk around, you're just going to be cool. That doesn't mean he knows everything that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it out there that way. I don't think that's been said. I don't know if it has.
Some excitement in entertainment news. I saw, and I sent it to you, they're doing a Netflix documentary on Eddie Murphy. Can't wait to see this. Mark, when does that come out? I think I want to say end of October, end of next week. But I could be totally wrong. Yeah, there it is. What is it? November 12th.
November 12th.
Yeah, boy.
It seems like he's finally feeling comfortable.
He's always, when has he never felt
No, but
comfortable?
about talking about his personal life, being out in front of the camera, discussing Eddie Murphy.
I think all that comes with age, though.
And I think that, if you reach an incredible amount of success, trying to talk about that sounds, I think in your own head would sound a little odd. Like either like very narcissistic or very like where you're trying to, and you want to talk honestly about it, but when you're at the top, and he was at the top.
Yeah.
How do you have an honest conversation about yourself?
Right.
And not sound like you're an arrogant asshole. And I think that's, like you said, with age, it comes in a way where you can say it. And plus, when you're removed from that top tier, even though I'm not saying that he's not still, like, he's sought after and wanted.
Right.
But when you remove yourself from that daily top tier kind of where they're talking about you in the entertainment industry every single moment of the day, now you can you have other examples to put with it. So you don't have to just talk about yourself. You can talk about it overall, and I think it makes it easier to talk about.
Man, when they show the preview and you see this nigga's house, oh, my God. Oh, wow.
But that's why people live in Jersey. Is he in Jersey still?
I don't know.
I bet. Because
I think he has a place in Jersey and here, and Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I don't think that and I say that because there's space in Jersey. You can't you build something like that in New York. It's hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, not like he ain't got it.
No, but
Look at that shit.
you don't always have to.
God damn.
But he has so many kids. He needs a big ass house,
Yeah.
and he wants family there. So the kids, the
Yeah.
grandkids, everybody's
I think
at the
he's
house.
got 11. I wonder who has more, him or Nick Cannon?
Well, if we do it by age, Nick Cannon's winning the race. Even if he has a few less, he's winning the race.
God damn, boy. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's 11. Mark's looking it up.
Who has 11? Nick Cannon or so Eddie
think
has
Eddie.
10.
Eddie has 10.
Okay, I was off by 1. 10 kids. That does not like pulling out.
Nick has 12.
Wow.
Nick is winning.
What's the reason for 12 kids, man?
It just seems like, and not only that, but all these baby mamas, like, doesn't it seem like a
Jesus.
fucking headache?
Listen, man, nothing's a headache as long as you have a pill, and money's a good pill.
It's still a headache. You still have to deal with it.
I know, but
Especially if you're famous.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? When you got that kind of bread, yo, I mean, bread is a great stress reliever. And when them get on your nerves, you got the bread to be relieved of the stress.
Yeah, but you know,
But why do you even like want to talk to them?
I mean, who says you got to talk to them? You know what I mean?
But like you say, it's a Band-Aid. It doesn't fix the situation. It just covers it up so you don't have to listen to it.
It covers it up real good.
And if you're not, and not only that, not even talking to the baby mamas, but that now you have to talk to 12 kids.
Not all at the same time. That's the nice part about having
Like, how do you even keep up with their lives where you are like not a piece of shit? There's 12 of them.
You have time. If you have time, and if you have
And money is freedom.
Yeah,
Money is time.
and
Yeah,
if you
that
have,
doesn't-
but
they
if you
don't
have
care.
multiple moms, you don't have to deal with any one group of those kids at one time. See that's
That's just unnecessary.
But no, but what I mean by that is though, if you had 12 at your house and with one woman, those kids are there 24/7. And you know, some of them move out. I have a friend that had 11. He was one of 11. That house was always full, man. There was no peace. So what I'm saying is, if the moms are living in different places, those kids are living in different places. So you only have to deal with the kid at the timing. So you get to enjoy that kid and have time with them, then go on to the next, mom and whatever amount of kids those are. I'm not saying that that's the best idea. I'm just saying I understand why that could work that way.
Yeah.
I just don't know why you would want that many kids.
You know,
Like-
not all kids are like you were, though. But some kids are enjoyable. Some people.
Yeah, I'm sure a powerful queen cannon is going to turn out just perfect.
Also to Netflix, I saw it today. A documentary on who's the female serial killer played by Charlize Theron.
That was. I forgot her name, but that's the movie.
Monster?
No,
Monster. That's
the movie.
I know.
But that's not her name.
It's nice to have someone on board whose brain works.
Who? Which one?
Mark.
Eileen.
Is this working?
Eileen Wuornos.
One.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see that.
Wait, so they made a documentary about it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, about
Yeah, but is it going to actually be about what she did, or is it going to be a story about what she did and then other stories mixed in with the
yeah,
story?
don't Ed Gein this. I'm telling you, dude, that hurt. That really hurt. And I read in the comments, people on YouTube was upset with Mark for giving. They said we should have done what we normally do first. Then he fact checks at the end.
Yeah, that
they
way.
didn't like the way that he was.
Because he ruined it for
No,
us.
I agree. I totally ruined it, but I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, yeah, I won't do that again.
But
Here it is.
it's interesting. Charlie Hunan, how do you say Hunan?
I think it's Hunim.
He
Hunim.
he said that he admitted to that it's it took liberties, but he said it also showed that how our bloodlust, like we want these killings, like every time this movie was made, it went darker and darker and darker, and it's about us, like we're the dark ones.
I wish racism didn't always have to be so unfair. It's like I saw this thing on TikTok.
You want fair racism?
I want fair racism to get. Like I saw this thing on TikTok, and I never heard about this until I saw it. Where TikTok will every now and then they'll animate these and put like a creepy song behind it, but they'll animate what's true stories about certain heinous crimes that have taken place. And apparently there was a black dude in Ohio that were taking women off the streets, locking them up in his house.
Yeah.
And had like makeshift graves that he dug in the basement, would torture them, kill them. And I think he had up to like 48 women at one point, dead bodies in his basement. And it was so bad, the stench, that people outside the house could smell it.
We're complaining.
And they were constantly telling the cops, check it out, check it out. Cops would ignore it. So one day, one of the girls got loose and flagged down a cop, and then a la, he gets caught. Where's this story?
Oh, it's been out forever.
Are you talking about the one with Charles Ramsey?
Is that him?
It wasn't that.
No, but what
didn't
I'm saying,
kill that
what
many
I'm saying, unless I got the wrong guy. But point being, why is he not? Why is his story not as popular?
It's recent.
As Gacy?
It's recent.
No, this is not recent.
It's a lot more recent than those other
How's
cases.
recent is recent?
So, all right, so it took place in Ohio.
Yeah. But again, I know we kind of talked about this before. I've never heard of black serial killers that get the same attention as Gacy, Dahmer, Bundy.
Hold on.
Well, they didn't sensationalize him as much though either.
Why?
There could be a lot of reasons why.
Nah, he black.
No, there could be a lot of reasons why.
He black.
Yeah, but that race, you don't want to say that much because, he's black. You don't want to make it that black people do these things.
But we don't. We really don't.
Well, he just did it.
I know, but we're not. That serial killing ain't our thing.
So then that's maybe why it wasn't sensationalized. as
Not
much.
he black.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm agreeing with you.
What did you find it?
But it is more recent.
Okay, this sounds like it could be the Cleveland Strangler.
2009. That's not recent.
That's they discovered the body.
It's 2025.
Look up when Gacy's murders were. You have to build a little time to really make these things. And you have to say, Gacy had the clowns. He was a pedophile. He was capturing women and locking them up in the. It was.
So was this nigga.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is what all he was doing. He didn't. I'm not saying that's not enough, but it was. As far as from a sickness,
I want our stories to be told as equally as the killer white boys.
But as far as sickness going, Dahmer was fine. He's
Eating people.
Like there's more to the story than just plain straight up killing. Like Ed Gein, they had to make up a whole story to make this work.
They had to make up a white boy. It's real shit, ain't get no attention.
Let's see what he did. Well, I don't even know if he has the right one, but yeah, like I said,
It's got to be Ohio. Like two in Ohio doing the same
Cleveland.
thing.
When was
It was in Cleveland.
He was the Cleveland Strangler.
See what I'm saying?
When was Gacy though? Gacy's murders. When did those take place?
Well, I mean, that was before that.
Yeah, way before that. And it was kids, so that made it go even bigger.
Between 1972 and 1978.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but how soon after Gacy was caught did it become a thing, a story? It got attention. It was a big deal.
Just the court case was a big deal.
Yeah, I've never heard of this dude, the
I
Cleveland
have.
Strangler. Well, just because you have, what that mean? How many people you think heard of this, the Cleveland Strangler?
I think quite a bit, actually.
Mark, did you know?
No.
Okay,
so
there
the
we go.
first,
But it was a story. It was a big story. It was on the news every night because this woman escaped, and the way she escaped, she crawled out of a window, and she was able to flag down the
Annie, I
police.
promise you, if you polled people and said, do you know Dahmer? Do you know Bundy? Do you know Gacy? They would all go, yeah.
But
do
you know
the
Dahmer,
Cleveland Strangler?
you know Dahmer, you know Gacy, because they made these docs and movies about him already.
So why haven't there been about this guy?
2009. It's not enough time yet. You got to really let this age, man. You got to
It
have.
ain't wine, nigga.
Yeah, it is because you got to have all these other stories and backstories, and you got to have all these. It has to be, what's that called?
So listen,
What's that-
again, when black women go missing, they don't get the same coverage as white women. When do the same serial killing that the white boys do, it just so happens they don't get the same attention. That's just a coincidence.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Wait,
I knew
you're
all about it. It was on the.
complaining about black people.
Yeah, not getting the same attention for crimes.
Yes, I want us to get the same coverage when we do psycho shit that the white boys do.
Well-
that's what I'm telling you. That's how deep this racism runs. We can't even get the same coverage when we do heinous shit
When they talk about it on the news, you say that they're just sensationalizing black violence. That you say is.
Who would say that?
You did. You've said it.
I've not said that.
Okay.
I've not said that.
You don't think you don't think the coverage on what happens in the black community is too much?
I'm talking about a specific thing.
Okay, but see, again, you are talking about a specific thing. I'm saying to you.
Wait, so was the guy in Cleveland black?
Yes.
Oh.
That changes everything.
Listen, to think that there are no black serial killers would be insane. But the fact of the matter is, most people don't think that black serial killers exist because we don't hear about them. We don't hear about black serial killers.
Look at it. That's the chick.
Oh. It's like a bald Hannibal Buress.
What was the date, though? Did you see it?
House of Horrors.
Oh, he died.
What was the date he got caught?
The day he got caught?
The date.
The date?
The year. Give me something. It's right. It has to be in the overview.
He would know.
Yeah, there.
October
2009.
October 31st, Halloween.
2009. Trick or treat.
You know what I mean?
She's lucky they didn't think she was a crazy from Halloween and just sent her back. Could you imagine, though, somebody running up to you going, there's women, they're locked up in this. It's Halloween, and the cop has to go over there and knock on the door?
Yeah.
It's not long enough, Aries. I'm serious.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. Put in serial killers 2009 and after.
What are you gonna do by doing that?
Just put it in. Then and tell me which ones you recognize. Because you're saying it's not enough time. It's more than enough time. So let me see if there's some that afterwards, and then you'll be right.
Well, a serial killer?
After
Those are pretty rare.
After 2009. Who do we have?
I like how it's like a porn star. They have years active.
Yeah.
Well, hold up. Stop right there. Lonnie Franklin. That sounds like a black dude.
The Grim Sleeper.
Anthony Sowell, he was black.
And he targeted black women. Unless it's like kind of a Gary Owens situation.
Do you recognize any of these? Is that guy's name Beasley?
Richard Beasley. He could be black.
But Beasley, I thought it said Beasley. So do you recognize any of these?
No, but I don't think that any of these were nearly as big as those other guys.
Okay, that's
Bundy was big. Wayne Gacy was big. Dahmer was big.
And they all happened before 2009. I'm saying it takes time to build up this social lore about somebody's killing sprees that you make these documentaries.
So are you agreeing with me or are you not? Because you're saying you agree with me about the fact that he didn't get the coverage that he got because he was black.
I didn't say that.
Did he not? He said, I'm agreeing with you.
No, I didn't say.
But, Mark, did he not say that?
I was looking at names of serial killers.
No, but you got your ears work. He didn't say that?
He was definitely have a contrarian argument to you, Aries. Yeah.
You said that.
No.
You went, no, I'm agreeing. You did say that.
I agree that he hasn't got the attention for it, but I'm also saying it's because it's not long enough.
So again, are you agreeing with me or not?
No.
You're saying two things at once.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
But I think he's also saying there isn't any new serial killer cases in general.
So Andy,
From that time period.
Andy, you don't remember sitting here saying, I'm agreeing with you.
No, I disagreed with you. I said, I said, this happened. It's too early.
Anthony, roll back the footage, please.
I said it's too early. You didn't hear me say that?
You did say that, but when I said, he's not getting the coverage because he's black, you went, yes, I'm agreeing with you. You said that.
It's not because he's black. I already said that. If I said it, I misspoke.
I see what y'all talking about.
No, if I said it, I misspoke.
Oh, okay, so now you misspoke.
No, but I don't remember saying it because everything I said so far is it's too soon.
I promise you, if
I knew about the case.
If we walked down the street and said the 10 first people we saw, have you heard of Dahmer? Have you heard of this guy?
Yes.
They would go, never heard of
What
him.
year was Dahmer?
Dahmer. Let's see. You want to know what year he was active?
No. What year did he get caught?
Because he was in.
Once he got caught,
That had to be late
it was
80s.
huge news everywhere.
Because also, and I just said this, he was eating people.
1991.
It's almost 20 years difference.
Well,
You're missing what I'm saying.
no, I'm not at all.
Okay.
No, I'm not at all.
I mean, I think there is a valid. The only thing that I think that is being made could be maybe like creepy from like the past 20 years might be, one woman gets killed by her boyfriend type thing, or that stuff gets like sensationalized. I don't think we've had any like serial killer
But
stuff.
I know there's probably some kind of docs on this guy that you I don't remember his name, the dude that you're
Anthony
talking about.
Sowell.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is some kind of things that have been made and they're out there. It's just that they haven't got the same kind of coverage, not because he's black, because it's too new.
Now, get the out of here, dude. That has nothing to do with nothing. How new it is.
Okay, you're right. White people wouldn't love the opportunity. Racist white people wouldn't love the opportunity to run that black dude up the flagpole for killing these women. And saying, yes, you have one of the most
it's
horrific
definitely
serial
been
killers.
featured in they've definitely made things about him. Nothing like the Ed Gein thing.
And I said that I've heard about, I remember following the case when this happened.
Listen, y'all. Anthony, flash the number that people can call in, and people call in and weigh in on this, because I'm simply telling you that when it comes to this race thing, the media, this country knows no bounds. It knows no bounds.
This is getting like
All right.
Theo Vaughn level absurdity.
John Candy. How you feel about John Candy?
I love John Candy.
Yeah.
I always thought he was funny. Uncle Buck was one of the funniest movies that I saw. Like when I was in high school, it was very funny to me. What year did Uncle Buck come out?
I
thought it was really funny. It isn't the fun. It was a funny movie, and it was dealt with, parents and it resonated as a kid.
89.
89. So I was already out of high school, but it resonated.
Like, I was never a John Candy guy, not because of anything in terms of lack of talent. Nothing ever allured me to him.
He was an SCTV guy, and I think all those guys were very appealing to me because it's like Bill Murray, John Belushi, obviously John Candy, all the people that he worked with are in that time period. And then he was the generation after that just exploded to me, because I was there. I was in junior high when Saturday Night Live started.
Yeah.
And so all these people were important to me, in that. I don't want to say important like I was like, these are the best people. It was important as like I paid attention to them because they were breaking new ground. They were doing different stuff. And so Candy was the generation after that came, and then Canadian with Rick Moranis, and then all the A guys and all the stuff that they did. It connected with my age group.
That's the right word for me, connect. Because it felt like, when I saw Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, I immediately connected to him. Something about his personality, his delivery, Meatballs. I've always liked Bill Murray. I never quite connected to John Candy.
John, it's such.
I mean, and he from this documentary, even on film, it reads this way: not a mean, hateful bone in his body.
But it's very subtle.
A sweet, lovable dude.
But as an actor, I felt like he was giving and subtle. Like my favorite scene out of anything that he's done, and I told you this the other night, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. When Steve Martin falls asleep and he's driving the car and he's singing the song, and everything he does is it's his face, it's his mannerisms. It's very Belushi-esque to take away lines and make your presence the acting instead of using words. And that scene where he's playing the piano and they're singing a Ray Charles song, and it's just, and he's not doing the Ray Charles. He's not doing anything like that. He's doing his own take on this, and it's just this moment where I go, man, that is incredible, and you just really see like his ability.
Yeah, and you know, listen, as far as sketch comedy goes, you know, obviously I think SNL was always the biggest bully on the block. And then however you want to fit in a In Living Color or a SCTV or a Monty Python or a MADtv, you fill in the blanks how you will. But it felt to me like, maybe it's because SCTV was Canadian.
Second City is actually from Chicago.
But SCTV though, was it that
SCTV,
Canadian?
Yeah, that came from Canada.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like it was always the distant relative.
But all those people that came from the Canadian SC, they came and then they went to Chicago, and all that blew up. And those are the people that actually go to Saturday Night Live or went to other sketch shows. I mean, it's a breeding ground for something about the Midwest and, you know, of this country, Chicago, and then up into Canada. The sketch part is such a much bigger deal. Like where in New York and LA, it's stand-up.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things I kind of always wished I had done. Like come up in a comedy sketch troupe, like the Groundlings or Second City. Because I often wondered, had I done that, how would that have helped me
The Groundlings
on MADtv be stronger? Because again, guys like Michael McDonald, who else came from that? I forget who else came from that, but I think Phil Lamar, they came from that. So they weren't really impressions people. They were characters. They came up with characters. And Mike had some of the strongest characters of all the cast members. Characters was never my thing. You know, I did a few, but my thing was impressions. And that, to me, is from a stand-up.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about you saying that? Is when I listen to you and you do, you know, your crowd work and what you do, you're doing characters. But you're not putting yourself as the character. You make the character up of the people that are in front of you.
Yeah.
And that is essentially sketch, though, as well.
But to me, it's stand-up.
It's stand-up, but I mean, you're following the same practice where you're developing a story around something that doesn't exist from a person that's sitting in front of you, and you fill in their backstory, and that's what a character, that's what a character is when you bring the backstory.
Goddamn genius!
So when I watch you do that, I always felt like when I'm watching this happen, I always feel like that was your sketch background. That was you doing your MADtv stuff. That's what I felt when I sit in the green room and I watch you do that. That's or I'm listening to you do it, because a lot of times I'll sit in the green room and I stop watching you because I'm watching you and I'm never going to be like, I can't do that on stage. I can't be you. Like I can't do act outs like that. You. I like to listen to you in the green room now and listen to the show and hear you put these little emphasis or change things or how you put certain things together. And that's one of the ones when I've been sitting in the back and listening to you, I go, listen, he gave that guy a backstory. He put who he was. He told, and you do have sketch characters like the guy when has the royal name.
Right.
That's a sketch character.
Yeah.
You just haven't taken it out and put it on the screen.
The old black man.
Right. So I've paid attention to that, and that's what I know that's coming from your work on sketch TV.
Yeah,
I wish you would have been in like a Groundlings.
Well,
you would have developed all that
I'm
out.
going to take it back to a word you used when you were talking about the athletes, camaraderie.
Yeah.
But it's funny, it's because I'm saying this, but it's like, no, you did it. You just did it on camera for TV. Yeah. But I'm talking about before you get to that level.
When you're in the audience.
When you start out and there's no cameras and you come up
and
through the ranks.
Like that.
Yeah. With TV, it's like, here's your script. We got the Monday morning table read, which we all sit around and figure out what sketches are going to get picked. Then we rehearse. Then we put it on camera, put it on its feet, the wardrobe, the makeup. I kind of was like, so you did do it. You just bypassed the beginnings. And I just feel like there's something maybe that you get in those humble beginnings when you're all starting out. Nobody's famous yet. Nobody's on TV. You're all hungry. Whatever that purity is that you get from that.
Trust.
Yeah.
It is the trust. Because to do that kind of sketch, to do it that way, in like in like a groundlings, whatever. You're working with the other person. You have to trust that they're going to be able to work with you and do that back and forth so that you can get what you need out of it. Right. And that's one of the things that's really hard for comics, because comedy, unless you're a group act, a tandem or whatever, it's a solo sport. There's nobody else. It's you and the microphone, and that is one of the greatest things. But that's like in sports, that to me is maybe golf, because you're playing against the course and that's what you do. Right. Yeah, you got other people standing around you, but it's really what you do with that ball and how you get it to the hole. And all other sports depend on another person. You have to trust that they're going to pass the ball at the right time. You got to trust that if it's football, like your offensive line is going to keep that tackle from coming and ripping your head off, and that he's going to throw that pass and it's going to go downfield. And it's so much trust. But stand-up it has no trust.
Michael was so fast on his feet. We did one. I remember these two, my favorite sketches. We did one sketch where basically Michael's character could customize his farts and give them certain scents. You know what I'm saying? So when he showed his wife the neat trick, she invites the whole family over, and every family member is like, "Okay, I want me next," and he goes, Frank Caliendo went, "I want my fart to smell like the ocean," and then Mike would physically do all kind of butt. Contort his ass and make these, and he go, "Oh, it smells like Neuro Beach." So, and there was another skit where it was about oral sex innuendos, like certain words, and every time Nicole played the wife and Mike played the husband, every time she would say certain things that would be, you could associate with oral sex, he would grab her head and try to force her to give him a blowjob. So, again, the family comes over and he does it to the dad and he does it to the mom. And then towards the end, they're looking for the cat. And he goes, where's the cat? I think we left the cat out. Oh, did you leave the door open? And Michael is near Nicole and he goes, "Here, puss, 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 puss." And then she grabs his head and tries to, oh, it was so funny, man. But back to John Candy. Dude, can you imagine had Candy lived along with Chris Farley, those two fat juggernauts in a physical comedy? If those two had lived, what that could have been.
It would have been interesting. I don't know. Listen, everybody can be mad at me because I already know that last week I had that thing about fat shaming, but
yeah,
I don't know if you could put two fat guys on the screen as leads.
Why you say that? Because
I never seen it. I'm not saying it couldn't be done.
Oh.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be funny. I'm just saying it's never been done. Does that?
That would be all the more the reason to
do it. But I'm just saying it's never been done that way.
Right.
They always want to have some kind of,
Well, the contrast is what makes it funny. The fat guy, the little guy.
Yeah.
Hence Farley and David Spade.
Fat guy in a little coat. Yeah, that's. But so that would be very interesting to see it. But it would work because Farley is the goofy, out there. That's the contrast, and Candy is a little bit more controlled and thoughtful, and the way that it.
Do you think it could work if both guys had the same personality?
No, you have to. Don't you have to have? You
I don't know.
Unless they played like brothers, and there was something to that.
Yeah.
Anything could be done. Like but you know what? I want to say this about the industry because. Nothing personal about this, but we watched. I watched Uncle Buck too. I watched Uncle Buck, and I want to watch it again. And when you watch this documentary, they talk about what's his name? Who was the director?
John
Hughes.
Yeah, John Hughes. So John Hughes had such an affinity for Candy that he wrote Uncle Buck for him, but then they wrote it. Then they would break down scenes and do everything and remake the movie until it got to what it was, right? And so there's all this character development coming from John Candy, right? So I watch it at the end, and there's no co-writing credit or anything for Candy. There's nothing. There's no producer credit for Candy. It's just he's just the star of the show.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know why I felt the need to look at that, but it just kind of says how this happens, right?
I don't want to speak out of turn, which is what I'd be doing, because if I if I said something and didn't really see the movie. But like I said, I've never seen I've seen movies with John Candy in it, a la the Blues Brothers. But he's such a small part in that. But I've never seen a whole John Candy movie. I've never seen Uncle Buck. Never saw Planes, Trains, Automobiles. I just saw Stripes. I watched that this morning.
Yeah. And that's a minimal. It's still a minimal part. But he
nothing connects me. I don't feel connected to him.
Yeah. But you saw what's the movie Home Alone? You saw Home Alone when he has the scene where he's the poker player from.
That did nothing for me.
Yeah.
No.
Not funny at all.
Nah.
And that, did you like when they said it was one day? He only had one day to do it, and he said, "You got me for the whole day and used me." And they worked 23 hours, whatever, to put that.
They might do that to me. Incidentally, this dude hit me up on Instagram. Wants me to do this movie, one scene, one day in New Mexico with James Franco. And him and the movie is about and then Charlie Sheen is in it and Gene Simmons. But one of them plays a suicidal person, and the other one, I'm gonna f this up. But long story short, one's like a caretaker, and the other one's is suicidal, and he's trying to keep him alive and whatnot.
Your character?
No. James Franco and this other.
Don't
dude
give away too much of the movie. The director's gonna get mad.
The director ain't gonna see this. But long story short, they go into to go buy some drugs, and I'm the dealer when they go into the neighborhood.
Oh, you got to knock that out.
Oh yeah, I read it this morning. The one scene, but it's all the stuff is there, and the guy's telling me James Franco is good at improv, and this guy is good at improv. So it's the two of them, and I'm the dealer.
And they want you to come with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, when you said you got me for the whole day, that's what made me think of that because it's one day.
Yeah. But putting this together the way it is, and we were talking about the weight and the big things, and you just said you saw Stripes, dude. I didn't know this until I watched this. How much he hated that mud wrestling scene.
Yeah, it's
and then he did it with his shirt on because
Right.
he didn't want to. The uncomfortability that he actually had about his weight.
How uncomfortable are you if you won't lose it?
I think that's it's a catch-22 on that one. You're uncomfortable, but you're not willing to do the things to get rid of it.
And then the second thing is, and this is what I was going to ask you this. People would say things like, if you lose the weight, you lose the funny, because that's what that's part of the selling point about you. You're this fat, fluffy, funny, lovable guy. If that's your bread and butter, and that's what pays your mortgage and your bills, do you keep the fat?
Well, let me rephrase that. His idol, I guess, when he was growing up, was Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
And Jackie Gleason was fat,
Yeah.
But was he fat or was he just overweight? Was he heavy? Because John Candy got fat, like he got fatter, bigger,
Right.
Round, like thicker. When your ankles and your feet don't have when your legs and your feet don't have an ankle, that's a different kind of fat.
Oh, that's come on, folks.
Well, yeah, when you start losing your wrist, that's a different kind of fat.
Right.
And so he started getting to that weight level. So I think, I think if you're known for being overweight, or being, I don't want to say overweight. If you're known for being a jovial, overweight person, that jovial part, that's what they call that. That's that part that I would say. Yeah, you can miss out on not. I don't think you lose your funny. I think you miss out on people seeing you the same way, and some roles go away because they're looking for that particular looking character. When Drew Carey lost weight, and now he just does the game show.
Yeah.
Where's his parts?
Well, he's like Seinfeld. He's not really an actor like that.
He was getting parts though.
Every comic, when you start out and you get a little heat, you get thrown in some things. But if that ain't really your thing, you peter out. At one point, remember, Bill Maher was in DC Cab.
Yeah.
But he's not an actor like that. That's not his thing. Seinfeld is not a movie star.
Well, Seinfeld turned down everything. He's been
TV
off-
wise? TV wise?
No, he when he was on Seinfeld and he was like it was the hottest thing. He turned down every movie.
Really?
He wouldn't do anything.
I didn't know that.
And he doesn't think he's an actor. He's embarrassed by a lot.
Well, then if you don't think you are, then how are we supposed to
Well,
think you are?
he thought like the actors that surrounded him on Seinfeld made him acceptable, but he never thought that he was bringing acting. He was bringing.
And I agree with him.
Okay, so that's why he didn't do it.
Right. But that to my
That
point,
didn't
he's
mean
not
he
an
couldn't.
actor.
That didn't mean he couldn't got good at it. Steve Martin wasn't an actor, and Steve Martin's a hell of a actor.
But you just said it. Steve Martin's a hell of an actor. I think of him more of an actor than a comedian.
Well, but he was a comedian. That's what he started off as. 100% comedian, was one of the biggest comedians at the time, and then he went full fledged into acting. And he says it when he did this movie. He was just coming into his acting, even though he had already done a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to work at becoming an actor. It just doesn't happen.
I'm gonna tell you something. A young Katherine O'Hara, hot to death.
Those teeth, man.
What?
Teeth.
Teeth.
They're just very aggressive looking to me. Her mouth.
Boy, I swear, every time I like a certain white woman, you find the flaw.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying, though. This is what's funny. When you say white, like white people have this look, and you just think it's very plain and like.
Yeah.
I see a lot of different things when I look at white people,
A lot of different things like what?
like those teeth, that mouth.
Oh, man,
the
I
way
don't
that
see
ma-
nothing wrong with her at all.
I didn't say it was wrong. I don't find it attractive.
Yeah, I don't see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A young Katherine O'Hara was fire.
Are you talking about Home Alone?
Like, yeah, right there. Look at that.
Those teeth, something about those
Oh,
scare me.
dude.
The mouth, look at the smile. There's something about the mouth that just doesn't work for me. I can't look at the picture over there, all the way to the left on the bottom row right now. Something about it. I'm sorry, I just have personal taste, and that doesn't work for me.
Like, I see some dudes online talking about Jennifer Love Hewitt right now, about how she looks now. Oh, man, she's bigger and she look hot to death to me. That thickness, she's always had a cute face. But to be honest, I prefer her at 43 than I do when she was skinny.
I think
Blasphemy.
I think
Blasphemy.
I think she looks fine now, but before she was
Too skinny.
no those
Too skinny.
man, those boobs looked different back then.
Man, I will take her right now, nigga.
She was so cute. It's the cuteness that she had before. Look at the pictures. Second row of
She
pictures.
looked like, when she
with the
was
blue
younger,
dress
she
on.
was an
With the blue dress there.
undercooked steak.
Oh, that looks good. And that's older. That's a little older.
That is bloody rare.
And Heartbreakers, is that what it's called? The one with Ray Liotta and Sigourney Weaver?
I don't know.
She was on that.
You know who she looks like now?
Who?
Not so much the face, but the body.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey. She has Mariah Carey body.
I ain't mad at that.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I said that's who she looks like now.
Okay.
I you know what? I'm not mad at her any way she looks.
That's like, she's 46. Can't we just let people age?
Look,
and
yeah, look,
not
no,
fucking-
go back. Oh, okay, never mind.
Which one?
Go up a little bit more. No, I don't know where it went. I don't know where it's at now. Now there's a nice one where she has like a little bit shorter hair. Just looks good. Just looks good.
Yeah. They brought up Jack Nicholson at one point in this documentary. And I had this thought, and I had to write it down, where I just went, don't you think that some people are just anointed and touched by the hand of God, and they can do things others can't because it's just their destiny? Like, Jack Nicholson was meant to be a cool, womanizing, alcohol-drinking, chain-smoking movie star who goes untouched by any of the pitfalls that those vices bring, whereas most people don't get to be that lucky because they weren't anointed by God.
Yeah, but he was at a different time. He wouldn't be the same guy today if he just came out now.
You don't think so?
Nope. Plus, his technique of acting, which I think is awesome. I think there's people that are really great actors today that, his style of acting, the way he portrays characters, I think he was great in that day, but I think he has competition today. There's great actors now.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, yeah, that. But I'm not even talking about his acting. I'm just talking about
His persona.
His persona. I remember Jim Carrey told this story when he said that he was on SNL as a guest along with Jack, and they were going in the elevator at Rockefeller Plaza. And at one point, there was a bunch of people in the lobby, and when the elevator's doors opened and everybody saw it was Jack, Jack turns to him and goes, "Take your cameras out now."
Because
like one time you get this one chance to take my picture, do it now.
Because he's used to it and he knows how to play the game that was put in front of him. But let me ask you, is there anybody that you think has a Jack kind of quality that may have started off a little younger and is still acting today? I'll tell you who I think it is.
A Jack quality that started young that's still acting today?
Yeah.
No, it's Jack.
I'm talking about, though, our generation.
I think I know who you're going to say.
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. And he is penalized for being that guy. He is made to feel like there's something wrong with him for being that
Only
guy.
because he dates 18-year-olds.
What was Jack doing when he was Leonardo's age?
Was he doing that?
Dude, all of them do that. Why?
No, all of them don't do that.
A lot of famous people date younger.
Okay, but Leonardo sits by a calendar and a clock and waits until you turn 18.
I love that joke where he says, Ricky Gervais said, this show's gone on so long. Leonardo had to break up with his girlfriend during the show because she got too old. Yes, but Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm just saying he's demonized for being the guy who he is. And I think he has a Jack-esque quality to him, likability, big star.
I don't know that he's as cool as Jack.
No one's going to be as cool as Jack. No one's going to be as cool as Jack because, again, it comes from a different era. You know, we talk about Sean Connery. Sean Connery was a dude. Those guys got away with that kind of shit back then.
But Sean wasn't known for with young girls.
No,
like
but
that.
he was known for saying about
he was
women.
known for smacking bitches.
Yeah, okay. So,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't get away with that today. Jack, his allure, like the idea of who he is bigger than him. That's what happens to a lot of these guys. They become the idea of who they are becomes bigger.
But
than
that's
them.
what I'm saying. Like to me, there feels like he was specially touched by God to be that guy.
Yeah, to have those parts.
Because anybody else some of that would be their downfall, but not Jack.
But Jack never went too far. Like Peter Fonda was a young guy at that same time, alcohol and drug problem. A lot of the guys had alcohol and drug problems. You know, I'm not saying Jack didn't do alcohol, didn't do drugs, but he didn't do it. He didn't make it his problem. You know what? Let me rephrase that. He didn't make it the other actors, the other directors, the other producers. He didn't make it Hollywood's problem. It was his problem. Most people that are like at a Jack status and party and do all the things they do, they make it everybody else's problem that they did that. They don't show up on time. They don't work the right way. They make their problems someone else's problems.
Like I could see Jack saying, "I get alcohol drunk." You know, somebody that they showed in this, which is a director, I wish I could have always wish I had an opportunity to work with, was Mel Brooks. And I met Mel Brooks because, the role went to the right man, Dave Chappelle and Robin Hood Men in Tights. And, of course, Mel Brooks directed that. And I actually sat down and met with Mel Brooks. This was right around that time when I told you when I got to Hollywood and I was as hot as fish grease. So I sat and I talked with Mel Brooks for a little bit to possibly play that role. But, again, it went to the right guy. But, when you look at Blazing Saddles and just his history, his style of comedy, I don't know would translate to today.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But for what his legend has been, to be able to have that on your resume and say, "Yo, I did a film with Mel Brooks."
Because see, this is the thing. I can say, and I don't feel bad saying it doesn't translate to today, but that doesn't mean it wasn't great then.
Oh, it was masterful then.
So there's nothing wrong with saying it doesn't translate to today, and I think that's where people mess up. Yeah, wordplay. I was talking about this with Mark today. I was watching a bunch of these older movies like with John Candy in it. And the premise gets blown because all these like scenarios that they set up today don't make any sense because you just pull out your phone and the problem is solved. And half the problems in this is that you can't communicate with the other person. I can't get a hold of the other person. I can't communicate. Right. We don't have that problem. You have to read. The best you could do is, I don't have any electricity and my phone's dead. That's the best you can do today. So as we develop and time goes on, not everything translates. Wordplay back then was fun and funny back then. Farts were funny back then. But you can't just do a fart scene every time because he already did a fart scene. So you have to redevelop the fart scene to like where you're doing a fart scene where the grandpa farts and it blows up all over the wall. You have to go bigger, or you have to do. It can't be the same. So that's
shit all over.
Well, so that's the thing, man. You have to. It doesn't translate because we evolved, not necessarily evolved up either. We just evolved,
Right.
And so those things don't make the same kind of sense anymore.
Right.
Lenny Bruce was a fantastic comic. If you listen to his albums, you're gonna go, "Why was this funny?"
Yeah.
It was funny, but you got to put yourself in the position of listening to it at that time with what they had and how far that stretched the boundaries. And Mel Brooks stretched the boundaries. Breaking the fourth wall the way he broke the fourth wall in Blazing Saddles is a big deal. But today, people break the fourth wall in a little quip, and you're like, "Oh, that's really cool," but it moves on. You can't do a big old long scene of breaking the fourth wall and going, "Oh, this is fantastic." It's been done.
Yeah.
So this is why it doesn't connect the same way. But Mel Brooks, that doesn't change his genius, and he continued working. Man, the guy was a beast.
Yeah, and listen, when I watched Stripes, which I had never seen prior to this morning, I'm like, this is such a quintessential 80s feel.
That's the fact, Jack.
All the way up until the end where they do the thing where they go, and this is what happened to this person, and this is what happened to that person.
I love it.
That is so 80s.
They did that in Animal House too. The same thing in Animal House.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Stripes is loved. I loved Stripes. Meatballs. I loved Meatballs. All those movies are amazing to me. Yeah. But when I go back and watch them, when I told Terry, "Oh, you got to see Meatballs," and I put Meatballs in, and I looked at her afterwards, and I go, "Yeah, that probably wasn't that good for you," but because it doesn't always hold up. But when I watched it from my place that I was sitting at that time, it's still awesome. You said you like Meatballs?
Yeah.
The just doesn't matter scene.
But again, that I was a kid. That was.
But when he's taking that log and he's like, "It just doesn't matter."
I got to see it again.
Okay, that scene to me is incredible. And the fact that you have somebody named Spaz with broken glasses, come on,
that's so 80s.
It's so 80s, and you couldn't do that today because you'd watch it and go, "This is hacky bull. What is this?"
Right.
So you have to set yourself in the same time zone.
Yeah. I think that's a show.
Is that a show?
That is a show.
That's a show. Listen, man, this John Candy thing, we probably didn't have a ton of notes on it, but I'm going to tell you, it lets you know who he is. He's a super sweet guy that really was caring. When you know what his background and the tragedies that he came up with, and that's the thing that we could have talked about that we didn't, was his personal tragedies and his father, and just the amount of time that his family exists on this earth, including him, seems very limited. So watch it if you get a chance. I thought it was really, I thought it captured a person really well, the essence of who he was. And it didn't sensationalize it. It didn't try to make him better than he was. It was just good.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to see it, please do. I'm supposed to be putting these emails, the dates at the beginning so that you actually listen to it. So I'm only going to put out a few dates right now, but let me give them to you really quick. And when I say really quick, that means Mark and Anthony probably have to edit it a little bit so I can pull it up.
Steve, kill this dead air.
That's what I said.
Oh, did you?
I said you're going to have to probably edit it so I can do this. All right, guys, you're listening to this. We're probably just had finished up Cap City Comedy Club. We're not there any longer as you're listening to this, so we're going to be November 6th to the 9th at the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, Florida, the south of the north of Florida. They say the further north you go in Florida, the further south you are. I don't know if that's true. If you're from Florida, let me know if that's true. November 13th to the 16th, we're going to be back in where we're talking about, the center of the country, man. Chicago Improv out in Schaumburg, even more centered. You got deeper into the center. November 21st to the 23rd, we're going to be at Oxnard Levity Live out in California. We're going to have our cameras out, and if we have any ICE mass deportations, we'll pick that up for you guys and send that out because we'll be in Oxnard, California.
Dude, I'm flying to Boston the day before our Oxnard show to do one show of college.
You should have had me come out.
I don't do college.
You should have had me come out.
Colleges. So you might ask yourself,
What's going on?
My agent goes, it's one show. You can make this much money combined with your Oxnard money, and you're looking at almost 6 figures for the week. You really gonna turn that down? And after I pissed and moaned and said no 1,000 fucking times. Plus, I don't like this. With colleges, there's a lot of red tape. So I don't like not getting paid after my show. Give me my money. So by the time they got to do all, they say by the time they do all the red tape, go through all of this and this and this, it could take up to 30 days before I get my check. It usually doesn't. It usually takes about 2 weeks, but it could take up to 30 days. And I don't like that. Give me my money.
You gonna smoke cigarettes in the green room?
There's no green room in a cafeteria.
You should have brought me out for 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Why are they?
I would have loved to have gone bombed it.
I might do that.
I'll just do the stuff about my kids.
You're not a little too edgy for them?
That's why I don't like colleges.
Hey, they really
There's
liked
gonna be so many letters written.
Dude, I'm telling you.
when we did Stress Factory and we did what was it, Rutgers?
Okay.
They loved you.
Oh, you talking about that with the football players?
Yeah.
That was hell.
It was.
It was hell.
Dude, we did this thing, and I was making jokes about their college, and they didn't even know anything about their college. Like, somebody else had to go, I said, do you guys know what I'm talking about? And everybody's like, no. And then one guy goes, yeah, he's telling you that this has happened, and it happened to the beginning. And I was like, Jesus. I go, it's hard to do topical jokes for you guys if you don't even know anything that's going on.
You know what colleges and military bases, and I did one military show, you know what they have in common? They love when you rag on their fellow people.
Yeah, they do love that.
They go crazy. Yeah. With the platoon, Sergeant X platoon, P333. Shut the up. Colleges, they love when you rag on their fellow players. That is not enjoyable. It's the most immature locker room. That's not fun for me.
One of my favorite shows that we did a weekend was at the comedy strip in El Paso, Texas, because that's a very military town, and those guys, everything, no matter how dark, how dirty, whatever it was, they rolled with everything.
But there's a mixture of them plus regular folk.
Yeah.
But when it's all strictly military,
Yeah.
oh Jesus, with your stogie in your mouth and your beer in your hand, you frat boy.
All right, let me get these last three in. November 28th to the 30th, Fort Lauderdale Improv. So we're back in Florida a bunch. December, that's because I'm getting old. They wanted me to hang out there. December 5th, we're going to be at the Flag Star at the Westbury Music Fair. Get your tickets there. That's blowing up. December 6th, we're at Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Providence, Rhode Island. That's the dates, man.
Those are the dates.
Those are the dates. That's enough dates. We're going to be back in Orlando December 12th through the 14th and December 18th to the 22nd. We're at Cobb's back in San Francisco, which I'm looking forward to going back to San Francisco.
Are you being funny or are you serious?
No, I'm looking forward to going. I want to see what's left. Is that a show?
That is a show.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit SpearsburgPod.com.